Recording.
Welcome to the Dr. Paul Show today. I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming Scott. He's been a patient for how many years now, do you think has it been?
About 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years. And so anyway, he has a great story to tell us, so I asked him to come in and share with us. So Scott, I'll leave it to you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been seeing Dr. Krona for about 6-7 years. And I mean, we've come a long way. There's been a lot that we've talked about, and long journey we've had, and a lot of help and guidance over the years that have been very beneficial and helpful to me, growing as a person. And there's a lot of great things we've shared together, and just very thankful to have him in my life and to have his help. So,
To go back and further, go back in your life and tell me, like, when did you first start feeling like mood-wise things weren't quite where they were? What age were you? Do you think when you started to feel like something wasn't right?
I struggled when I was young with social anxiety. So I knew.
How young?
It's probably first, second grade, third grade. I always wanted to be, socially involved, but I didn't always know how. So my outlet was always sports. So that's what I focused on, and I think I suffered a lot. I was delayed a lot with my social development from a young age, and I had to kind of catch up over time. But I noticed, in my teenage years, I played baseball, basketball, football in high school, and I was recruited and scouted by the Yankees, a lot of different professional teams, and basically my abilities took me to places that my character couldn't keep me at the time. So the Yankees were actually the ones that recommended that I get some treatment or look into something. And
For what?
Just for off the field issues, chemical, or not chemical, I didn't know about it at the time, but more mood, behavioral stuff that was, a little bit different than some of the other players. So
Like what specifically?
I mean, just mood swings, just kind of unpredictable behavior. Where is Scott? Is he going to be here? So a lot of different things, and I had some I guess you could say moments on some scouting trips or trips that we traveled on, and I didn't travel very well, and I struggled, and they recommended that I seek to talk to somebody, and I think I was like 16, 17 at the time.
Wow.
Was
this the minor league system then, or was
it? No, it was the full scouting system for. It was the regional scouts for the Yankees, and I did lose a possible draft pick out of high school because of some of the off the field issues. But thankfully, I was able to get a scholarship and go to college and still be able to play and work my way to play some professional ball before I got hurt and I got redirected in my life. But
what was your position?
I played outfield. Outfield. I was a decent hitter, so it was. I'm thankful for that, but I lost a lot of social experience and interactions when I was young, and I turned to sports. So, but I got turned to see if there was some help I could get as far as emotional and behavioral stuff. So, over time, I kind of got led to you, and
before you saw me, did you see anybody else? Did you get
I saw a few doctors, but I mean, things were prescribed, but without really getting to know me and my situation and stuff like that. So I felt it was kind of more generic, whereas with you, it's a lot more personal, and you get to take time to get to know the client, and I think that leads to better results, possibly. So as soon as we started working together and I got your help, I feel like, I was able to get in a space where I was chemically more balanced, which enabled me to be in more of a better reality and perception, which helped me to grow, over time. So,
and you've done really well. I mean, over time you've done really well. When you were having like mood swings, were you ever getting like manic? Did you ever get really high, really low, really depressed, really?
I did. It was emotional, and I feel I just kind of depression as well. Just kind of go to places where you're sad for no reason and you don't know why. And you want to not be sad, but you don't know really what to do. So, I feel that was something that led me to seek some help. Because you want to be okay, but you feel there's something that you can't really control. Right. That's affecting you. Right. Right. So.
Now I see. It's like when I see one person. I think, are you the first one I saw in your family, or no? So I see. I see his parents, siblings, in-laws. It's like when I see one person, it's funny. Like I start to see the whole family, and then see the
connected,
everyone connected, and the family dynamics, and so. And I think as far as medications concerned, I think I have you on a combination of Cymbalta and Lamictal and
three very mild doses that just kind of I feel get me in a place where I'm able to, be more level as far as emotions. So it's been very, very helpful, and over time my body's kind of gotten used to it, and the side effects, I really have no side effects. Right. As long as I take it, you told me to take it with, a certain amount of food, certain amount of calories. Right. And as long as I do that, if I don't, I notice sometimes my stomach gets upset. Right. But as long as I eat with it, I feel, in 20, 30 minutes, I'm able to.
Right. And combining basically, like with Cymbalta and Lamictal, that kind of prevents the low and the anxiety, and you're on these like tiny little like pediatric doses of mood stabilizer at night. One of them, I think you cut into like 1/16 of a piece or something.
And maybe a lick or two.
Yeah, I think like 2 or 3 licks. I mean, I've never had any patient before you do that tiny of this. So with you, it just like takes a touch of it, and that's all it takes to get your sleeping right.
I'm sensitive, you know that.
Yeah, you are. You're a sensitive guy. So, but. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
I mean, just I'm grateful. I feel like that everybody, whether they admit it or not, has some imbalances. And I feel like the biggest key is when you're able to stabilize some of those possible imbalances, you're able to live in a reality and have a better perception and not be within yourself. And I feel like once you get outside of yourself, and one other thing is it'll be 2 years of sobriety from alcohol for me on the 20th.
Wow, good for you.
And one big thing I learned is service in sobriety. When you give more to other people, in turn, there's what they call a helper's high, and you feel good about helping other people.
Paying it forward.
And the other benefit, as far as mental health, is it helps you be able to get outside yourself. So you're not consumed with my emotions, how I feel. And when you help other people feel good, in turn, there's some chemical reward. And, also, you feel like you've done the right thing. So
you go to meetings at all, or do you go to?
No? I haven't been as much as I should, but I have a very good support system. And I do have friends that are sober that I do talk to, sponsor. He's been sober now for a while, and shout out to Mike. He's actually cancer-free, thank God. He thought he had cancer, but he's sober. He's building his life back, and there's a lot of good people that I've met, and it's a community, and you help each other, support each other, and you give more than you take, and I think that's a key to being happy and staying sober. So.
Yeah, and I think. In the key, there's a couple of things. I mean, the fact that you had social anxiety at such a young age, that's significant, because most of the time that gets worse with puberty. Yeah. So if it's happening like at that young of an age, then that shows that there's a significant something, and that always means it's going to get worse later.
Yeah.
And the other factor is genetics. I know your family. I know that
You have great genetics.
Great people. I love his people, yes. I love his family. But family history is key. I mean, but what that means is we can't help it. We can't help our genetics. We can't help who had us. But that's one of the big reasons I think people have these imbalances, and they feel bad about it. But that's not your fault. It's nothing you can do. It's nothing that. So medications are not just a fix all. But what they do, all they do is balance unbalanced chemicals. They're simply getting the chemicals back on a normal track. And then the goal is, like with you, is just feeling good and feeling healthy and active. And Scott's also a UFC, right?
I'm boxing currently.
Yeah. Boxing, but don't you do other kind of fighting too?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
I have a blue belt under a world champion in that. So I've done multiple things, but focusing primarily on boxing now. I have a few things to get fixed up, a surgery or so, but hopefully get back to it.
That's the athlete in you that you can't give up the athlete in you.
Yeah, competitive. Yeah, it's always there. One thing I will say though is, as far as with family and stuff, I'm very blessed because I've had a very good support system.
Yeah.
And chemical imbalances or not, you learn a lot from your environment, and I think my parents and my brothers have taught me the values of never giving up and always progressing and becoming better than you were. So we all make mistakes, but I feel when you're chemically balanced, you're able to have the opportunity to learn and grow a lot more than if you were not.
Right.
So
right.
I think that's one of the key things. But I'm very thankful for the support system. I think that's been a huge contributor to me being able to.
I have to vouch for them. I love his family. I love his parents and his siblings and in-laws and all that. And so. Yeah, it's really nice when you have. I have a great family support system too, and it's great because not everyone has that.
No, it's a blessing for sure.
Not everyone has that, so and especially people who understand that when you've gone through hard times and things aren't always great, that they're there to support you, they're there to understand, and they're rooting for you.
And I think it's also a lack of judgment, because feeling like you can talk to somebody even though you've fallen short of what is acceptable. I think that gives you some healing and peace because you're able to accept it and know that somebody still cares about you,
right?
Even though you've fallen short. So I think that makes you want to get better too. So
absolutely. Well, excellent. Anything else you'd like to share before we wrap it up?
Man, a lot of good stuff ahead.
Great. Good.
So. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate you coming in today and sharing.
Thank you, Doug.
Good to see you.
Appreciate you.
So in Scott's case, he definitely has a history most consistent with a bipolar disorder. So he's on a combination of four things. One is Cymbalta. So again, it really works on serotonin. So it's blocking the reuptake of serotonin and serotonin and norepinephrine. And so it gets those two chemicals moving the right way, not the wrong way. I put him on Lamictal. And again, it took some trial and error. It's not like I just knew exactly every visit what to do. It takes some try this and try that and increase the dose. And a lot of that I do in my practice is a lot of titrating and figuring out the dosing for what's ideal for an individual person. That takes some time. So Lamictal is a very unique antidepressant, the only one that works on GABA. So that works on that chemical. And the bipolar part too, which can lead to some mania, leads to problem with sleeping at night. So he's interesting. He's on a little bit of Latuda, very small dose, like a half of the lowest dose, which is unusual that's going to work, but it does. If he tries to take more of that, he sleeps too well. So he has the other problem is these three are going the wrong way. Dopamine is going too fast forward. So these are what we call dopamine antagonists. So he's on Latuda, which basically slows down dopamine and calms it down so that he can sleep at night. And then sometimes he uses a little bit of Sapphirus, but extremely small amount, like a 16th of a low dose. So it's like a little tiny, you just have to lick it probably 2-3 times. And that's, so that combination, so he's basically, I call 4 out of 4. He's got all 4 chemicals involved, but he's been on this combination for quite a while and been very, very stable.